Hello everyone, Tomo from Market Zone here. How are you guys? I hope that you had a great weekend. I hope that you are having a great Monday, and I hope that you are ready and excited towards another trading week. It's Brexit week, so I'm expecting lots of action. In this video, I'm going to share with you some updates following today's price section, updates to the analysis that I shared with you yesterday on the weekly markets analysis, the weekly newsletter that if you haven't read already, you can check it out at www.themarketzone.net. Go check the weekly markets analysis tab there and read the latest post, or simply search for weekly markets analysis on Twitter and see the link there. The first chart that I want to talk about is the S&P. This is the SPY daily chart, and what you saw today is a retest of the bottom of a trading channel that I mentioned in the weekly newsletter, and a retest of the 50 days MA line that right now the price is trying to close above before the end of the session. Now if you see SPX chart, you can see that the 50 days MA line provided support for the S&P. We had a spike, we had a false break, and as long as the price will remain above the 50 days MA line, we can have a bullish potential that also I mentioned in the weekly newsletter, a short-term bullish potential that will drive S&P back towards this structure, and the fast MA line that will be tested as resistance. If we will zoom into the 240-minute chart, we can clearly see how the S&P right now is struggling with a fast MA line that still acts as resistance. In order to reach to the next resistance zone, which is the focus zone for this week, the S&P must overcome this line, and then it will advance toward 2360 more or less to retest a daily structure zone, the 200 MA line, the 50 MA line, and also the 618 Fibonacci from this swing, 618 Fibonacci. So everything pretty much collides into this zone, and you can, if we zoom back out to the daily chart, we can see that the fast MA line here is approaching from above, should act as resistance if the price will meet it. So 2360, that's the focus zone if you are looking for a bearish continuation wave in SPX. The next two charts that I want to mention in this video are Pound USD and EURUSD. Both of them exploded straight into resistance zones that I mentioned in this week's newsletter and reacted to them. That's the interesting part. Pound USD reached exactly to 1.26. That was the level that I mentioned that you should be focused on, and it is already down 40-50 pips from that level. So if you read the weekly market analysis, you should be with profits by now. That's the focus zone, 1.26, 1.25. Pay attention to this zone towards Brexit on Thursday. EURUSD reached the 200 days MA line. That was the technical element I mentioned that you should focus on. We see a small retracement. Maybe the candle will close as a pin bar. I don't know. It's still about an hour before the close. And the short-term bearish potential that I see in EURUSD, as long as the price remains below the 200 days MA line, is a pullback towards 1.08 that should now turn to support. So we have a short-term bearish potential in EURUSD as long as the price remains below the 200 days MA line and reacts to that. Few words about oil. Oil retested the trend line, the uptrend line again, bounced from it, and the price is back inside this triangle again. A breakout, a close above $48 will send oil probably towards the 200 days SMA line to retest it as resistance. A close below 47 will send oil to the next bearish target zone, 45 and 44. That's the next bearish daily target zones. So that's about oil. Another interesting chart, XAU-USD retesting the 200 days SMA line, or you can see it also in GLD, whatever you want to look at, retesting the 200 days SMA line as resistance. In GLD we can see a trend line resistance as well, and a potential price zone, a sell zone that I mentioned in last week's newsletter. So if you haven't read that one, you can also check it out at www themarketzone.net, go to the weekly markets analysis tab and see the post from last week with a setup on gold. To summarize this short-term update video, I want to go back to DXY. That's the key. That's the key to what we saw in EURUSD, in GBPUSD, in gold, and also in S&P. In this week's video, in this week's newsletter, I mentioned that these 3 doji patterns that we got last week will turn to continuation pattern that will send DXY towards the 200 days SMA line and the uptrend line that you see here, which I called trend line 2. Now, although DXY didn't reach the 200 SMA line and the trend line, you can see that the price is reacting to the support zone even when it comes close to it. Now, what we could see before the end of this week is another squeeze down. According to my experience, that's definitely a scenario that you should be prepared for. In such case, today's price action, the spike that we see here, the push higher before the close, can be used as some sort of bullish confirmation signal that shows you that there are buyers here, and if the price will retest this support zone, the buyers will push the price higher again, and you can be more comfortable with long dollar trades that you can time and trade later on this week. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Pay attention to the 200 SMA line in dollar index, the 200 SMA line in EURUSD, 1.085, 1.09. That's this week's focus on EURUSD. Pound USD, 1.26 towards Brexit on Thursday. Gold, 200-day SMA line, and of course the S&P with a short-term pullback that I mentioned earlier in this video. I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please share it. Please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and subscribe to the newsletter so you'll get all of my analysis each Sunday straight into your inbox. Thank you for watching again. See you in the next video.